Hello everyone, and welcome to Earth Archives. Today's story is about a genius mathematician from Germany, Carl Friedrich Gauss. He is not only a legendary figure in the world of mathematics, but is also referred to as the king of mathematics. This prince, filled with mystery and wisdom, has written an unbelievable history with his astounding mathematical achievements. Gauss's talent was evident from a very young age. Even at the age of 3, he was already able to point out errors in his father's bookkeeping. By the age of 9, he could calculate the sum of the numbers from 1 to 100, which, although seemingly simple, was a task that seemed effortless to him. At 11, he was able to derive the general formula of the binomial theorem and had a deep understanding of infinite series. By the age of 16, he predicted the theory of non-Euclidean geometry, a theory that had not yet been proposed at that time. When he was 17, he discovered one of the most important techniques in mathematics, the method of least squares. By the age of 19, his mathematical talent reached its peak as he solved a problem that had plagued mathematicians for over 2,000 years and proposed many revolutionary concepts. This young mathematical prince, just beginning to explore the endless world of mathematics, had already shattered countless records. His achievements spanned across number theory, algebra, calculus, non-Euclidean geometry, and mathematical physics, to name just a few. Moreover, Gauss's work extended into physics, geodesy, and even had a pivotal influence on the later development of the theory of relativity. So, what allowed such a young Gauss to make such a huge impact in the mathematical world? His extraordinary mathematical talent did not come from thin air. Gauss's growth was filled with challenges and difficulties, but it was precisely these challenges that shaped his extraordinary wisdom and unwavering perseverance. The birth of the math prince, Gauss's childhood genius. Gauss's story, starting from his childhood, is filled with astonishing miracles. He was born in 1777, a time when Germany was far less prosperous than it is today, and his family was not wealthy. His father was an ordinary worker, and his mother was a housewife. It seemed like an ordinary family background, yet it nurtured this mathematical genius. When you hear Gauss's story, you may be tempted to ask, how could such an ordinary family produce a mathematical prodigy who would change the world? In fact, this is the best proof of Gauss's extraordinary talent. Gauss showed exceptional abilities from a very young age. It is said that when he was 3 years old, he was already able to point out mistakes his father made while doing accounts, something that is far beyond the capacity of a typical child. Imagine a young child, still so small, noticing errors that even adults might miss. It's almost unbelievable. This remarkable talent was not limited to simple arithmetic. When Gauss was 9 years old, he quickly calculated the sum of all the numbers from 1 to 100, a feat that his teacher at the time could not even imagine. Have you ever heard of such a story? A 9-year-old child accomplishing a calculation that would take adults quite a while. This left his teacher amazed. However, this was just the tip of the iceberg when it came to Gauss's mathematical brilliance. By the age of 11, he had already learned the binomial theorem and presented a new understanding of infinite series. For the small town of Brunswick, this was nothing short of a shock. Gauss's brilliance made him a local prodigy, and even the adults around him had no choice but to look at this young boy with astonished eyes. Who could have imagined that a mere 11-year-old child was already so advanced in mathematics, surpassing both his peers and the mathematical community of the time? The breakthrough of a young genius, remarkable achievements at 16 and 17. Gauss's mathematical talent accelerated rapidly as he entered his teenage years. It was as though his mind began to grow at an exponential rate, surpassing the boundaries of mathematics as they were understood at the time. At the age of 16, Gauss had already begun exploring non-Euclidean geometry, a field that was considered one of the greatest unsolved problems in mathematics. For mathematicians of that era, this area was like an unexplored wilderness, full of challenging and uncharted mysteries. But for this young mathematical prince, It was simply another challenge on his quest for knowledge. He had already started to foresee the future development of geometry and had made some forward-thinking insights in this undeveloped area of study. Gauss's mind was no longer confined to traditional mathematical fields. His vision had expanded to encompass topics that required a deep understanding and innovative thinking. His thoughts were like a light illuminating the darkness, guiding the mathematical world toward new possibilities. It was during this period that his mathematical intuition and thinking process became more refined and profound, as though he was born to break conventions and challenge the limits of understanding. By the age of 17, Gauss had discovered the method of least squares, a groundbreaking discovery that not only caused a sensation in the mathematics community, but also paved the way for developments in mathematics and other disciplines. The method of least squares, as its name suggests, involves minimizing the square of the errors to fit data. This method remains an essential tool in data analysis, astronomy, physics, and many other fields to this day. From this, we can see that Gauss's mathematical thinking had already transcended pure theory, beginning to touch on practical applications. This discovery was not only a significant contribution to mathematics, but also marked Gauss's breakthrough across disciplinary boundaries. From this point onward, his academic influence began to spread into various fields. Whether in mathematics, astronomy, or physics, Gauss's theories and discoveries provided valuable tools and inspiration for later scientists and scholars. His academic vision became increasingly expansive, and the impact of his work on multiple disciplines led one to wonder, what kind of brilliant achievements would this young mathematical prodigy achieve in the future? The establishment of a mathematical empire, Gauss's mathematical breakthroughs. By the age of 19, Gauss had reached an astonishing peak in the world of mathematics. His name began to be frequently mentioned in fields such as number theory, algebra, and non-Euclidean geometry, and the number of theorems he proposed had already surpassed 100. Imagine a 19-year-old young man making such profound contributions across so many diverse and complex fields of mathematics. This, for the people of that time, was undoubtedly an unfathomable miracle. However, this is exactly the story of Gauss, the young mathematical genius who injected his unique insight and talent into every field he touched. However, Gauss's achievements were not instantaneous. Although he showed extraordinary talent at such a young age, the effort and dedication behind his accomplishments were undeniable. Every theorem, every breakthrough, was a result of countless days and nights of hard thinking and relentless pursuit. Gauss was not satisfied with merely offering simple answers, but grounded his work in a pursuit of truth in mathematics, constantly exploring and repeatedly verifying in practice. For him, mathematics was not just the construction of theories, but an endless journey toward perfection and precision. Gauss's work, once published, quickly became classic and laid the foundation for future generations of mathematicians. He was not only a theoretical explorer, but also a pioneer in practice. In his mind, every mathematical concept, every formula, had to withstand the most rigorous scrutiny. Gauss was always experimenting and refining, striving to find the most precise and perfect answers. This pursuit of perfection became the soul of his mathematical creations, ensuring that his achievements not only remained influential in academia, but also had a lasting impact on the development of modern mathematics. At the time, scholars in the mathematical community were often astonished by the depth of his theories and marveled at how this young man had already solved many of the most challenging mathematical problems. Every theorem Gauss proposed, whether it was on prime number distribution in number theory or solving algebraic equations in algebra, left a profound impact on future academic research. The mathematical legacy he left behind is still revered by countless mathematicians today and remains an indispensable part of the history of mathematics. The struggles and challenges of academic life, Gauss's family and difficulties. Many might assume that a genius like Gauss grew up under the halo of his talents, enjoying endless attention and support. However, the reality was far more complicated than we imagine. Gauss's family life was not as wealthy or comfortable as one might think, and in fact, in his early years, Gauss did not receive much understanding or support from the outside world. In truth, Gauss's father did not believe that mathematics would be of any help to his future development. On the contrary, he hoped that his son would follow in his own footsteps, working in a factory to earn a steady income. At that time, his father could not understand Gauss's passion and talent for mathematics. He even strongly opposed his son continuing his education and tried to force him to abandon his studies and work in the factory. However, despite facing such familial pressure, Gauss did not succumb to the constraints of reality. From a young age, he had learned how to persist in his dreams and how to find a way forward in difficult situations. In those tough times when he was caught between his family and his dreams, Gauss chose to fight for his passion and made a firm decision to pursue his ideal of mathematics. This resolve allowed him to remain unwavering in the face of his father's opposition and attempts to hinder him. Although his father did not support his academic pursuits, his mother became his strongest supporter. While she had not received much formal education and had a limited cultural background, her love and support for Gauss were irreplaceable. In order for Gauss to continue his studies, his mother selflessly made many sacrifices. She did everything she could to provide support, even making significant financial sacrifices. The support from Gauss's mother undoubtedly became an important source of strength in his life, allowing him to continue his love for mathematics and steadfastly pursue his future despite the numerous challenges within his family. Becoming a leader in the field of mathematics, Gauss's academic achievements and breakthroughs. As Gauss grew older, he entered the Carolinian University, which was undoubtedly a significant turning point in his life. Here, he was able to systematically study mathematics and physics, which laid a solid foundation for his later mathematical achievements. With his academic training deepening, his research began to push the boundaries of mathematics, not only achieving outstanding accomplishments in the field of mathematics, but also making tremendous contributions to astronomy, physics, and other disciplines. Especially in the field of astronomy, Gauss's accomplishments were impossible to ignore. The most famous was his precise calculation of the orbit of Ceres. This event took place in 1801 when the discovery of Ceres caused a great stir in the astronomical community. However, its orbital calculation posed a significant challenge, and many astronomers were unable to predict its orbit accurately. At this time, Gauss used his profound understanding of mathematics to successfully calculate the orbit of Ceres, and this achievement immediately shocked the entire astronomical community. At that time, astronomers lacked the precise mathematical models that Gauss had. His calculations not only broke through the technological bottleneck of the era, but also amazed other scholars with their incredible accuracy and computational speed. The mathematical methods and models Gauss employed provided a new way of thinking for astronomy and ushered in a new era of collaboration between mathematics and astronomy. His calculation of the orbit of Ceres showcased his extraordinary mathematical intuition and his meticulous attention to detail, making it an unprecedented achievement in the academic world at the time. Not only that, but Gauss also applied his profound understanding of mathematics and physics to propose several theories about celestial motion and made breakthroughs in mathematical modeling. His research methods and results became one of the foundations for the later development of astronomy and had a profound impact on future astronomers. Not only that, but Gauss also applied his profound understanding of mathematics and physics to propose several theories about celestial motion and made breakthroughs in mathematical modeling. His research methods and results became one of the foundations for the later development of astronomy and had a profound impact on future astronomers. Gauss's academic influence, the king of mathematics. Throughout his life, Gauss published countless mathematical theorems, each of which had a profound impact on the mathematical world. Whether in number theory, algebra, or geometry, Gauss's name has always been closely associated with innovation and breakthroughs. His mathematical achievements are still regarded as an unparalleled pinnacle to this day. A famous saying in the mathematics world goes, mathematicians are divided into two categories, others and Gauss. This quote undoubtedly represents the highest praise for Gauss's mathematical achievements, highlighting his unparalleled position in the history of mathematics and emphasizing the unique gap between him and other mathematicians. However, despite Gauss's achievements reaching such a peak, he maintained a humble and reserved attitude. Unlike many mathematicians who would widely publish all of their findings, Gauss chose a more introverted approach. Some of his theories were discovered only after his death by later mathematicians. In fact, although Gauss did not publicly publish all of his research during his lifetime, he never stopped his deep thinking and exploration of mathematics. He often recorded his understanding of mathematics and new theories in the form of journals, which later became valuable legacies for future mathematicians. These journals not only showcase Gauss's extraordinary talent in mathematics, but also reveal to later mathematicians that he had already reached a profound understanding of many areas that the scientific community at the time could not even fathom. These unpublished works became a remarkable treasure discovered by future mathematicians, playing a significant role in advancing the development of mathematics. Gauss's journals, in an intangible way, conveyed his boundless love for mathematics and his deep thinking to future generations. Gauss's life is a microcosm of limitless exploration in mathematics. His mathematical achievements are not only found in the theorems he published, but also in the profound theories that remained unknown to the world. Even though he had already reached the pinnacle of mathematics, he humbly left behind countless invaluable resources for future generations, allowing later mathematicians to build on his work and discover even more truths. It can be said that Gauss's influence far exceeds his published works. Those unpublished results have made his impact even more profound, becoming an eternal symbol in the history of mathematics. Gauss's later years and legacy, a lifetime of legacy. In his later years, Gauss did not immerse himself in fame and glory like many other prominent figures, but instead became even more focused on his academic pursuits. As he aged, he gradually shifted his attention from physics and astronomy back to the profound study of mathematics. Although he had already made countless contributions in these fields, Gauss's thirst for knowledge never ceased. He remained passionately dedicated to academia, whether it was day and night contemplation or conducting experiments, fully immersing himself in his work. This spirit elevated his status in the mathematical community and ensured that, in the hearts of future generations, he would remain an irreplaceable academic giant. Gauss's life not only left behind countless classic theorems and methods in mathematics, but his contributions to fields such as physics, astronomy, and geodesy were also equally impressive. His academic achievements spanned from number theory, algebra, and geometry to astronomy and physics, with each of his accomplishments deeply influencing the subsequent development of science. Today, whether we are studying mathematics, physics, or astronomy, whether in basic theories or modern scientific applications, we still cannot escape Gauss's influence. His mathematical theorems, physical models, and methods of measurement remain the foundation of our daily work and research. Gauss's influence is not confined to the field of mathematics alone. His breakthroughs in astronomy and physics laid the foundation for the development of the entire scientific domain. Many core theories and techniques in modern science, whether in astronomical observations or the precise calculations in particle physics, are deeply connected to the mathematical tools and methods established by Gauss. This makes him one of the founding figures in the broader scientific field. It is not an exaggeration to say that Gauss was not just a great figure in the world of mathematics. His interdisciplinary contributions demonstrate that he possessed not only extraordinary mathematical talent, but also exceptional wisdom in bridging different fields. Gauss's academic achievements continue to be revered by scholars worldwide to this day. Gauss, the Prince of Mathematics, an everlasting legend. The story of Gauss undoubtedly teaches us a profound lesson. While talent is important, it is persistent effort and unwavering pursuit that are the true keys to ultimate success. Gauss's success was not a miraculous gift. It was earned through countless challenges and hardships, driven by his passion and dedication to mathematics, steadily climbing to that unattainable peak. This prince of mathematics, though displaying extraordinary talent at a young age, never stopped learning and exploring, each step filled with a thirst for knowledge and a pursuit of perfection. His mathematical achievements made him an immortal beacon in the history of science, lighting the path for countless scholars who followed. Today, whether we are walking the paths of mathematics, physics, or other scientific fields, we can draw strength from Gauss's accomplishments, solidifying our beliefs and goals. If you are also interested in mathematics or science, or if you are inspired by Gauss's life, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. More fascinating historical stories and legendary figures will continue to be updated. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.